This is in Las Vegas. Okay, Harry, please mute. Good Lord. Do you not know how to mute?
No.
Okay, then just be quiet, please. What?
Are you on Twitch or YouTube?
YouTube.
Hey, YouTube.
Please be quiet.
Oh, yeah. I'm falling right now.
Harry, click on your screen. On your phone.
Yeah.
Press the microphone button.
Yeah, is that right?
Press the microphone button.
That one.
No, the other one. Microphone. The one under it. Oh, wow. I can't tell if he's muted or not. Okay.
You're always scoring. When you're supposed to be
5,
on
4, 3, 2, 1. Qualifying 1 underway. This session is for Harry and Jasper. Hello everybody and welcome in to round number 1 of Fortnite League here this afternoon. And what a testing session we had yesterday. We now get a brand new season well underway here. We're just under 20 seconds into qualifying here this afternoon in our first qualifying group about here. Look to get underway. And the fan favourite coming into this session would more or less be Jasper, and the guy to probably win the AM Championship as well. We do have a new competitor in here as well. We do have Harry Godwin, who will be joining us. Who will be joining us in this for most of the season. Some rounds he will not be able to make, but hopefully he can make most of them. And, well, the fan favourite is Jasper. We're hoping that we can see him bag his first pole position in this session. But yeah, we will see what happens. Just under about a minute gone in this session here. We've got a bit of a compacted schedule compared to what we were going to have here. We need to finish before 2 o'clock here this afternoon. So a bit of a compact schedule, meaning we won't actually get a break in this session here. So we will see what happens, and also running to a bit of a tight-ish schedule this afternoon. But first qualifying session well underway, and as you can see immediately, Harry invalidating his first lap time, and it is critical that he does put a lap time down on the board here this afternoon. But of course we will see what happens as now Harry makes his run up through towards turn number 3 and then in through towards turn number 4. Now, the only circuit on the calendar coming into this season that you can't hold every corner flat, quite interestingly, as the drivers now make their run out through towards the back straight on the circuit. We, of course, see how this rolls out for all of the drivers. Now, we do have DRS enabled, of course, in this session, so the drivers do have that chance to get inside 1 second of the car in front. And, of course, if you do that, then you will be able to reap the benefits of DRS. You do get that slipstream as well, all important down that front straight as well. Just under 7.5 minutes to go now. And Jasper has not invalidated his lap, I say that, yet. And, of course, fan favourite for the AM Championship. So we'll see, of course, if he can win his first championship here this afternoon as he crosses the line and puts down a 1:16.3. Harry, though, still yet to set a lap time. Just has to nail a lap together. Of course, he does know that if he goes all 4 wheels over those white lines, he will get invalidated. All he has to do is keep the car on the track And, well, I say that, it's not easy. These cars, especially compared to Bathurst, are like absolute trucks, and they can't turn. So, a bit of a different challenge for these drivers. And, well, if I was to say that this was easy, then I'd be understating myself at this point. Harry, though, very much struggling. And as the 2026 era of children say nowadays, lock in, because that's exactly what he needs to do right now to be anywhere close to a 1:16.347 at the moment. 6 minutes 10 seconds remaining in this session. Of course, we will get the faster drivers out there very, very soon, being Callan and Harrison. Yes, does that name ring a bell? Probably after yesterday's performance at Bathurst, Norris Ring, and of course, out at Long Beach as well, which is completely new regulations coming into this season. So yeah, that name definitely does ring a bell. Harrison will be out in this next session along with Callan himself. He's won two championships so far, hoping to try and go for a third this season, but we'll see what he can do. 1:14.9 from Jasper on that second lap around as he tries to now file his way through towards turn 6, up through 7 and 8 on the exit there. Once more applying the power, just over 5.5 minutes to go. The first 3 race format out of what will be about 4 or 5 race formats that we will have this week and beyond. We do have endurance rounds as well. Long Beach and Bathurst, of course, yearly. We've been doing Bathurst as an endurance round. It is very much a brutal race, and you can lose it in one snap of a finger. Let me tell you that much. 4 minutes, 50 seconds to go now as Jasper files his way through the fast right, left, flick right, and out the other side. Then make his run through towards the fast left-hander. Where you see a lot of that Goodyear rubber go down. 1:14.9. Is this any improvement for Jasper? It's a 1:15.6. No improvement for the moment as now Jasper makes his run through the fast right-hander. And then once more applying the power. Harry still has not set a lap time. 4.5 minutes remaining in this session. So far, so good. We've not gone interrupted. There were quite a lot of interruptions in the practice session that we had just over 8-9 minutes ago here. But can Harry now set a representative lap time? It's a 1:32.6, 17 seconds off the pace compared to what Jasper is currently doing. But he definitely has, he definitely does have 17 seconds to find in his lap time at the moment. And hopefully, throughout the next 3 minutes or so, he can try and drop that lap time down a little bit in this session. 3 minutes, 45 seconds to go as Jasper will make his run round the next final couple of corners. And once more, an invalidation for Harry. Unfortunately, not able to get another clean lap time down as now Jasper makes his run up through towards the line. Can he improve on a 14.6? No, he can't, with a bit of a problem there as Harry has stopped in the second sector. So yellow flag has been shown, and of course, if he's out of the car for too long, it will deploy that red flag, which will stop the session just slightly. So won't be needing that, especially in a qualifying session. Of course, if you are purposely causing red flags, you will be disqualified here because, yes, this series is for fun, but we do like to see some sort of seriousness, especially in this series. Jasper now makes his run round through the final couple of corners, and now you will see the cars make their run down the back straight once more, and the blue flag there, of course, being noted to Harry to get out of the way as soon as possible. Now he makes his run through round the final couple of corners. 2 minutes, 15 seconds to go. Of course, these drivers are technically classified as the AM drivers, or no offense to anybody, but the slower drivers in this session, as now making his run through towards the line. 1:15.4. Of course, these times will be topped by the pro drivers very, very easily throughout the next session or so. Of course, those people that are in the stream, give us suggestions as to how we can change the format just a little bit. If you do have any suggestions, pop that down in the live chat. I think Callan and Harrison have the live chat open here, and they'll be responding to any of your messages that they have. As Harry. Yes, I will get the names confused throughout the races that we have here this week. I will get their names confused, so apologies if I do. 1 minute 30 seconds to go now. Of course, pit lane exit closes in just over 40 seconds time. So just over a minute to go. I think this is good practice for Jasper, actually. He'll be thinking of this as a practice session, more or less. And now drivers make their run through at the final corner and run through towards the line. Of course, the next session will get straight underway. It's due for a 11:05, but it'll probably start about 2 minutes past here, as now Jasper makes his run through towards the line, 1:17.8 there, as that will most likely be his final lap in this session, actually. Harry, can he improve on his lap time? 1:28.1, he certainly can. It's an 8-second improvement compared to what he did before, and that time invalidating on that lap, but still 13 seconds off the pace. And of course, that is really what we're expected from Harry, being a brand new driver. I think he's only done this once or twice, and he probably will correct me as well. He's only done this once or twice, and it will make it very, very, very interesting indeed. So, checkered flag has now fallen. First qualifying session has now been complete. And Harry and Jasper will make their run back towards the pit lane. Now, so. If you would like to listen to my commentary, or if you would like to listen to anything I say, please join the stream, just because there will be a bit of echo between the stream and this call. So if you would like to listen...
If you would like to listen to me talk, then join the stream, because the stream is where everything's happening.
Not needed, but okay. I'm going to be muted. I'm also going to be turning down my volume, so yeah. So, qualifying 2 about to get underway, and the drivers know exactly what they need to do here. And qualifying 2 just moments away from getting underway. Qualifying 2 getting underway in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Qualifying 2 is underway. So, qualifying part 2 here, underway. We've got Harrison and Callan making their way out, and Harry getting a bit confused here. So, of course, Harry will not be attending in this session. There is 2 parts to qualifying. And these are now the faster drivers. So this is where my voice immediately dies to every point of the question here. 9.5 minutes to go. And, of course, being me muted in the actual call, Harry and Callan will have to keep on top of Harry Godwin. Harrison and Callan will have to keep on top of Harry in this session to make sure he's not doing anything wrong. But of course, I'm assuring you that they're listening to me at the moment in my commentary here. 9 minutes to go, and this is where my voice very much dies, because these two are extremely competitive in their own right here. So see, of course, how that plays out, and there you can see Jasper just watching along. Is now making his run down through towards the back straight now. 8 minutes, 50 seconds to go. And this circuit, very easy to spread out on. So no real concerns for track limits or being, any sort of way off track or in sort of any traffic at the moment. Callan and Harrison now making their run through towards the front straight on the circuit. And now starting their first qualifying lap, trying to get the Goodyear rubber up to temperature as much as possible. And these drivers have been practicing the last couple of weeks to try and get themselves dialed in. Now it's down through towards the third corner. A very, very distant toe Harrison will be getting from the back of Callan, and he will be almost recognisable of that at this point. Just over 8 minutes to go. Way up the curb there, Callan. Deep into the corner. Harrison's going to be a bit angry with that. Slightly in the way, and we will not be happy with that there. Look, as you see Callan, he caught a bit too much of the curb and spat the car sideways in the process, and that just sort of affected his lap there, and he won't be happy with that as Harrison. You see there, Harry following along with Harrison on this lap time. Trying to see possibly where he can improve. Of course, Harry can't impede with this session here. Callan, though, getting a good old toe from the back of Harrison, hopefully, that he can improve this lap time. Harry, though, he cannot impede with this session. Otherwise, he will be kicked from the lead here. So, he can't impede, which is a big no-no in their qualifying session. Is now making their run through towards the line. 113.6, 116.4. And that was what I was talking about. Callan off the road. That's not good. And around goes Callan. And 113.6. Harrison at the moment on overall pole position. Very nicely done for Harrison. Callan with another track limits. Harrison has got this all down pat. Another track limits for Harrison. Callan cuts the corner and up the curb a little bit as well. As he now tries to once more get for a second lap time. Trying to possibly cool down those Goodyear tyres when possible. Of course, race number 1 due to start in about 15 minutes' time. Of course, we are running to quite a compact schedule here this afternoon. So, have to take that in mind that this will be a very, very short turnaround at best. So, about 9 minutes between qualifying and, of course, race number 1. 6 minutes remaining. Harrison will now start his second flying lap in this session. Just over 5 minutes to go. And Harrison, of course, he has no intentions of taking a championship here this season. Zero intentions, actually, whatsoever, as we ride on board with Harrison making his run down through towards the next penultimate couple of corners. Up the curb there, look, as he tries to find all the lap time possible. Callan with another invalidation on his second flying lap. Harrison up the curb, left, right, flick the car left once more. Out onto the back straight, Callan struggling. And he's now in the fence. Definitely in the fence there goes Callan. Yellow flag in sector 1. And that now, look, has cleared. So, back to green flag. And race control are very weary and will not throw a red flag if they don't have to here. And very, very weary indeed. And again, Callan with another lap time invalidation here this afternoon. So, definitely a struggle and a half as there you see Jasper just on the skate road down there making his run through. 4 minutes, 50 seconds to go left in this qualifying session. Harrison runs to the line. Callan with another invalidation. This is hurting Callan as well. 112.9 from Harrison. He improves and goes to the top of the session. Very nicely done. 4 minutes and a half to go. We take a look from the rooftop shot. Callan and Harrison riding aboard. Big slide, laying down some Goodyear rubber on the exit. 4.25 minutes to go. Battle for pole position is on. Callan needs a good lap time here, and he needs to beat a 112.9 if possible, as he now turns the car in up the curb, left, right, flick the car left again and cuts the corner. Used all the track limits as well there, look. Very close. Callan is pushing this thing. And he's got to be careful as well for those track limit warnings. Beautifully done. Up the curb and rode the curb nicely. Very, very nicely done. You will see the AM traffic very much come a play in this today. You'll have Harry Godwin, who will be a pain in their backside. And it will completely change the race as well. Of course, if Harry Godwin is holding the leaders up in any way, he will be penalised or / disqualified from the race and probably kicked from the group as well. As now, Callan makes his run through towards the line. It's a 1:13.1 and all track limits being used there, Callan. And, well, no improvement. Well, he did improve on his personal best, but he didn't go to the top of the session. There, it's a 12:09 the time to beat from Harrison. So, ladies and gentlemen, keep that in mind as now run through the next couple of corners. All track limits being used there, look. And a bit of a slide on the exit once more, laying down more Goodyear rubber. And more being laid down. Does Callan possibly box and try and let Harrison do the catching up and possibly get a slipstream from Harrison? Harrison will try his darnest not to let Callan get a slipstream here. Of course, 2 points are on offer for pole position in the Pro and the AM class. Jasper will be awarded those 2 points for that pole position. Beautiful speed carried there through the last couple of corners. 112.9 the time to beat. Harrison still out there on circuit. The drivers will now be burning off some of that BP Ultimate Fuel. Run to the line goes Callan, 113.1. Again, no improvement. Yeah, he's about 100th off his personal best at the moment, with just over 1:50 to go. Indeed we do. Just over a minute to go. Very important back end of this session as the drivers make their run through now. Slightly a bit up the curb. There goes Harrison. Very important session for himself. A 12:09. Harrison has been the qualifying master. He's just struggled a little bit in the races. And I say that, both of them have been struggling just a little bit here. And just genuinely in their races, been struggling. Floor shot. Harrison. Chicane, very nicely done. Callan, what can he do as he makes his run down the strip once more? Car right to the far-hand side. Up the curb, left, right, flick the car in. What does Harrison do? 12.97, it's 200ths off the personal best of the session. 50 seconds to go in the session. What can Callan do? Is there any improvement here? 13.2, no! No improvement. But it's a 12.97, plays a 12.95 from Harrison. He's 200ths off. 200ths. The margin. Flick left, flick right, flick left again. Beautiful consistency from Harrison. Beautifully done. Up the curb again. Oh, the track limits being used. Callan is absolutely throwing this thing all over the curbs. He certainly is, and he's getting so close to the track limits as well. I hope Harry's watching this, because this is the definition of using every bit of road, flatting it through every single corner, except, of course, that little Sector 1 section of circuit. The checkered flag drops, qualifying over. Of course, Callan will finish this lap time. What does Harry do, though? Is there any improvement from Harrison? 12.95, 12.975, 13.2, no improvement. No improvement there. What can Callan do as he crosses the line? Is this pole position? 13.2, no. Checkered flag drops, and Harrison bags pole. Beautifully done. And just note as well, that session, that whole 10-minute session, these drivers did not box once. So that just shows you can go 10 minutes on a fuel tank here as an extra 2 points awarded the way of Harrison. That will put him tied up in the championship with Jasper. So Harrison Jasper tied up in the championship. Very nicely done. Time for a break here on Travis Motorsports. We'll be back in just a few moments' time for race 1 for the Fortnite lane. Be back in a moment.
Yeah. You can help me. Whatever. That's championship team.
It's lights out and away. We got a beautiful start there from Harry. He will line up and cross the line beautifully and leads into towards turn number 1. Yeah, very nicely done. Harry Callan over Jasper. Apologies for the late start there, trying to get everybody lined up, but it's a good start from Harry, who will lead up through towards the mid part of the circuit. 14 laps still to come here, and of course 1 compulsory pit stop. And you can see now the pro drivers starting to immediately pull away on the first track limit warning for Harry. Harry, you've got 3 of those track limit warnings, and then you will get a penalty. You've got 3 track limit warnings, and then you will get a penalty. So putting that clear there. Look, race control as our leaders now pulling away, and that DRS will be enabled on the second lap here. Look there, Callan. Slightly looking up the inside and deep into the corner. Deep, deep, deep there. Look into the corner, and Harrison leads now. Nicely done. Beautifully done. Harrison leads lap 1. See the reaction times there. 0.0086 from Harrison. Beautifully done. DRS enabled now on this second lap. Yeah, nicely done. And immediately that's showing the pace of Harry compared to our pro drivers. And of course, Jasper sitting there in third. First warning for Callan. So Callan now on his first warning here this afternoon. Harrison deep into the corner, up the curb. Callan squeezing up inside there. Look, Harry into the pit lane. Up the curb, Callan again. Way up the rear end of Harrison. And struggle town at the moment. Now to the outside goes Callan. Squeeze to the outside curb there. Harrison, Callan in the barrier. Yeah, that might possibly get looked at by race control. Harry has entered the pit lane. And exited the pit lane. Sorry, Harry into the fence. Why is Harry in the fence? And he's... Oh, okay. Yeah. That was questionable. It was probably an unsafe rejoin as well. So, this is not looking good for our top 2 already. They're already starting that controversy. And it's round 1, lap 2 of a 14-lap race. And they're already starting their controversy here. There's now Callan on his second warning. So, he's got to be careful with that to the outside of the road. Now up the curb and in towards turn number 1. Surprising early here, Jasper. Just sticking with, as these boys got to keep it calm here. They've got 3 races to score at least 75 points here. So 75 points on the borders now through towards turn number 4. The drivers go. And second warning, third warning for Callan. First warning for Harrison. This is not going to be good. Third warning for Callan. This is not going to be good. Attention all teams. Callan, 5-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. And there we go. Callan on his third warning, getting that track limits.
That was a bit well. Alright, yeah. And now I got hit by Harrison. Now I'm going to get another fucking penalty.
What did you want to say? What did you want to say? And don't yell. Don't yell. What did you want to say?
Did you not just fucking hear me?
Yeah, I did, but you were yelling and there's no need.
No, I'm not taking the penalty, by the way. No, Travis, 2 of those were my fault. Those were my fault. 2 of those were my fault. Can you take those penalties away from me?
Yes. Okay, fine. I'm muted now, so I'm not going to be available. I'm going to be on commentary. So, now, making them run through. Harrison continues to lead, and that penalty has officially been taken away from Callan. And now Harry's got to be careful here because he's going to run into lap traffic. And blue flag immediately being shown the way of Harry. And he's got to be warned here that he needs to move out of the way of the leaders. The leaders are coming through. This is going to be a big problem. Harrison to the outside. There's a bit of damage there. Look on Harrison's car. Harrison's got damage onto the front of that car. Harry needs to move out of the way. Move slightly to the left-hand side of the circuit. Harrison's over. Harrison's over. This is not going to be any good for his championship. Harry. Harry.
Can you redress, please, Callum? Because that wasn't...
Harry, when you get that blue flag, you need to move out of the way. It is critical you move out of the way. Okay? You probably can't hear me, and you can hear... I know you can hear me. You need to move out of the way, Harry. I'm serious. Harry, I'm going to kick you from this group if you aren't serious and you don't move out of the way.
Just do it, guys. No, thank you.
For fuck's sakes. You need to move out of the way of everyone, Harry. Need to. Okay, so race control, they're putting that to Harry. You need to move out of the way of Harry, everyone. And now this is going to be held up for Jasper. They're going to be side by side, and Jasper's in the fence. Jeez. And this is going to be probably close to Harrison being kicked out here. Because if he's not going to move out of the way of everyone, he's going to get kicked out. He's going to get kicked out. And it's hurt Jasper's race as well. It's hurt Jasper's race. It's now through they run. Yeah. And Jasper was an innocent party of that. He really was. And blue flag now being shown to Jasper. So Harry needs to move right out of the way. He cannot move across to the left-hand side here. He needs to move out of the way, and so he does. Nicely done. But it was the fact that he's just been affected by the battling that was going on. And now Harry, yeah, well, that was deserved. That was sort of deserved, must I say. Jasper there, slightly there, look, taking out the third place car running being Jasper. Lap 6, you can see there that damage sparking away for Harry. Second warning for Harry Godwin. So he will get applied a penalty if, of course, he does get one more. Now that's the third. So that will be a penalty coming his way. Attention all teams. Harry Godwin with a 5-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. You are to serve that in the pit lane. 5-second time penalty. You are to serve that at your next pit stop. Thank you. And there we go. Confirmation there. Coming from race control. 5-second time penalty for Harry Godwin for exceeding track limits. One too many times. Now slow. Look on the right-hand side of the road. DRS once more enabled on the second lap of this race. To the inside there, look. Callum with a bit of damage as well. He's got to be careful of that. Now squeeze there, look, onto the inside of the road. Callum takes the lead. Yeah, very nicely done. Up the curb there. Callum with another warning. Another warning there for Callum. And will give the position back. It looks there. So, another warning. That will be Callum's second, I could imagine. So if he gets one more, he will be in trouble. And this whole track limits thing is going to be a big thing in this race. Halfway through now. Callum giving the beat. Harry with another track limits warning. He's now only got one left, and, well, he'll get another penalty. Indeed he will. There's now Callum getting slipstreamed by Harrison. Down through the fast left-hander into towards turn number 1. Good run there for Callum as he takes the outside line and right down the front straight now. Pit stops will become a thing at some point in this race. And, of course, once you run out of that fuel, that BP Ultimate fuel, you will have to come in to serve that one compulsory pit stop. And that there. Oh, Harrison in the fence! And I couldn't tell if it was Callum's fault or not, but Harrison didn't know out. And I can already tell. Oh, and there's an incident again. So Callum over. And this will deploy that virtual safety car. and maybe, possibly, look even a safety car. Callan just got back in time. But DRS again is disabled. And Harrison looks to have some pretty big damage. Jasper with his second warning. Attention all teams. Another 5-second time penalty going the way of Harry Godwin for exceeding track limits. 5-second time penalty, Harry Godwin for exceeding track limits. So there we go. That coming the way. And now another one. And that's not going to be good. This is going to be probably close to a disqualification, actually. So, green flag now. Back out on circuit. And another track limits warning for Harry. And Jasper, I reckon all three of them at the moment are very close. Harry has only got one warning, apparently. Callan pulls into the left into the pit lane. Goes Callan. 8 laps into this race. Trying to extend as much as possible, and so does Jasper. Harrison staying out another lap. Interesting choice. Again, that Harrison does have that damage. And it's actually, that car's dropping a bit of oil on the circuit down there. So that's going to be definitely a problem. So dropping there, look, a bit of oil onto the road. And Callan exiting now the pit lane. Harry Godwin, when you go to serve your penalty, you need to hold for 10 seconds in your pit box. Hold for 10 seconds in your pit box. And do not go until you have counted 10 seconds, and then you can leave pit lane. So, another warning there for Harrison. Blue flag for Harry. He's going to have to move out of the way just like he did before, but this will actually be handy, to be honest, because you'll get that slipstream. Harry moves out of the way, but he can't move to the left here. He cannot move to the left. He stays to the right-hand side. Nicely done, Harry. And now Harrison enters the pit lane. And Callan swerves across. And, well, he can't do that. Yeah. If someone has just let you by, for example, if it's lap traffic, and they've let you by, then you can't just swerve across them. So, I'm not sure what race control will think about that. Harry, though, exiting the pit lane. This is going to be tight between Callan and Harrison. Who will lead in towards turn number 1? It will be Callan, even with a bit of traffic. Yeah, nicely done. And DRS has been enabled now. Harry serving that penalty. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Penalty has been served. So race control confirming there. Harry has served that penalty. He'll hold in the pit lane for just enough time, and 10 seconds now being served from Harry. Yeah, very nicely done, and so far, very good racing. 4 to go in this one. And now you'll see here our race leaders, Harrison, Callan, making their run down through towards the back straight once more. To the outside of the road there, look, Callan. Sweeping around the outside, contacting the barrier. Yeah, ever so slightly. Callan, you could hear him saying, "What is this?" I could hear him saying, "What is this?" Not very happy with, at the moment, the driving of Harrison, I don't think, is just a slight tap with the barrier. Very, very slight tap. Jasper, there, look, coming out of turn 3, leading in the AM class, so scoring some valuable points for himself. And Harrison continues to lead the way. Indeed, he does. And Harry now crosses the line for his 10th lap of the race. And surprisingly, only about 2 laps down is Harry. I think race control are actually worried to deploy a safety car here at any point. Because if you deploy a safety car, you've got to explain it all to Harry, and that will be a whole load of pain at best. See the crowd cheering on as now making their run down through towards the back straight. once more, Harry gets another penalty and 1 track limits warning. First of 3 for Harrison. For Harry, sorry. Indeed. And now to the outside of the road there. Look goes Harrison. You can see the lines that are differating on the circuit here where the rubber's being laid down here. And we're now, look, going racing once more. Callan to the outside of the road. Squeeze to the outside and up the curb goes Callan. They're going to be side by side as they make their run through the left, through the right. A bit of racing room being left, but obviously not enough. Look, from my point of view there, that looked clean. I'm not sure, and Callan redresses just in case. And it looks clean from my side, actually. It didn't look too bad. It was a matter of you can't go side by side through that chicane. And I know the boys are listening in on the stream here, and they'll be hearing my point of view of it. But I'm saying that that was clean, and really you can't go side by side through that chicane. No, you can't. And plenty of racing room was left. Bit of contact, and to be honest, that's what you expect. Callum turning in a bit too early. Up the curb and up the side of Harris's car. These two going at hammer and tong in this race. He's now through towards the final couple of corners. They roll. We've just ticked over about 16 minutes. Next lap will be the final lap. Attention all teams. Oh, big incident. And Callan has made contact with Harrison. And as I was just unmuting there as well, I was about to say, race control, just listen in.
Is this not like a...
Attention all teams, attention all teams. Next lap.
Just punted me into the fucking wall.
Attention all teams, shut up. The next lap will be the final lap of the race. The next lap will be the final lap of the race. And that incident will be under investigation. Shut the fuck up for 5 minutes. 5 seconds, actually. That incident will be under investigation. That incident will be under investigation. Oh, yeah. So, race control putting it through there. That incident will be under investigation and will most likely be investigated after the race as well. Harry with another track limits warning. That's his second of the race. And apparently the checkered flag has fallen. Here. Apparently the checkered flag has fallen. That, of course, is not true. What you're seeing on your screens right now, ladies and gentlemen, is not true. This is now the final lap. Yeah, and Callan with that third track limits warning is not going to be happy about this. He is not going to be happy at all. And Harry as well will get his third track limits warning of the race. He will not be happy about this, Callan. No. And to be honest, I think there might be penalties for both drivers here. Possibly Harrison, and confirmation here. Just listen in. Attention all teams. Attention all teams. The incident between Harrison and Callan on lap 13 will be investigated after the race. The incident between Harrison and Callan will be investigated after the race. And so there we go. That incident will be investigated after the race. They're side by side. Who will cross the line first? It does look to be Harrison. It does just look to be Harrison. I think Harrison just crossed the line first.
On my screen it was me.
And that was very close, and it might have just been Harrison.
On my screen I was ahead like by half a car. But on the stream I don't think I was. Travis probably won.
And confirmation coming in here as I join back in with the call feed here. But confirmation, Harrison did win that by a good half a car length, actually. So Harrison did win that and it was a run to the line as well. I was focused on Jasper, who was going to get his first win in AM, and has done so. Very nicely done from Jasper. But side by side around that final corner, that was epic. Just Harrison, though.
I was ahead by half a car length, but on the stream it says not. But
Okay, we're going to be investigating that incident between you and Harrison.
by the way, can I just say something? Callan has 17 track limits. Most of them were from they having to cut corners from Harry. Literally all of them were definitely with the house.
I need to find. I'm just investigating this incident. Give me a second.
Travis, by the way, I did bring you weren't bloody looking at it. Yeah, just like no. You weren't even looking at it, and then side by side with him. This pleases me.
I'm trying to find the incident.
Yeah, you are, because Harry can't drive some shit on Harry, like, you're not me. Jasper has experience. Jasper, if you win a can, you should give me the experienced driver and give Harrison some more championships. It's only fair. I picked Jasper, so you can blame it. I didn't get to pick! I don't get to pick!
Yeah, Callan did not get to pick. I just chose a team. I just chose teams. So, but anyway.
You just said to yourself, you just said to Travis that you asked and he gave it to you, so that means that's rigged. So I'm going to say that that's rigged.
What's rigged?
Yeah, that's rigged.
What is rigged? Excuse me, what is rigged? If we're talking about constructors and teammates, I chose them, and if you don't like it, then too bad.
Well,
Then leave.
you give the least experienced driver to the second worst person, the person who has the least amount of championships.
Well, that sucks to be you, because it was random draw for me. I chose two drivers to be in a team, and it was you and Callan. And then I chose Harrison and Jasper to be there.
He's not going to do anything. He's literally just, he's going to be lost every single race. I know.
Well, if you don't like it, then leave. Don't like it, then leave.
He's in a crap car. Kill his car. Just you and Jasper in the house or whatever single championship. Kill his car. We're about to pay. We're about to pay. Let me on top. Let me on top of you. Let me on top of one of your cars. did straight away after the fight. Let me put up the streams.
Here we go again then for race number 2 of the Fortnite League here this afternoon, and we return here at Las Vegas after a slight little break to proceedings here this afternoon, and we're about to get race number 2 underway. This one, another 25% distance race, and now the formation lap here will get underway. So Jasper will pull off the line and get his race underway, but Harrison just now pulls off. So Jasper will now make his way off the line. And, well, he's actually already made a mistake. So, obviously, not going to look good here. But a minute and a half to get these tyres, these Goodyear tyres, up to temperature. Now, unfortunately, there will be no Harry, as he's had to leave early here this afternoon. So, race number 2 will be no Harry this afternoon. It's Jasper Macy's second mistake on the formation lap, and his race controller going to kick him out of first spot if he keeps making mistakes. And I think Callan's going to give this position back, but I don't think he's going to be very weary if he makes a second mistake under this formation lap. So he just has to keep this calm here. And Jasper, it's a pretty good chance. Yeah. Reverse grid, going to be good. Watch out for Harrison as well to make his way off the line. Fast starting Harrison, should I say, or we should call him, more or less. Bit of a server refresh, bit of chance for the drivers to sort of relax a little bit here as we continue on. But another 14-lap race. Race 3 will be our longer distance 50% race, which will be double the length. And, of course, we will finish race number 3, finish out round number 1 here this afternoon. So 20 seconds. We've got about 40 minutes. I think 40 minutes scheduled on the schedule here this afternoon. If I check the schedule, it should say 40 minutes, actually. So I'm going to check that real quickly. And indeed it is. So 40 minutes, time certain. We're starting down 12 o'clock. So beautifully done from the marshals here to get us perfectly dead on time. And 12 o'clock, race 2. About to get underway. 40 minutes with 14 laps still to come. Round 1, race 2, Fortnite League is about to get real spicy in Las Vegas. Fever Las Vegas is underway. Fortnite Fever's underway, and Jasper with a very, very, very good start. But Callan squeezed him out. Jasper's lost the rear end into the barrier. Jasper losing the rear end into the barrier. Will Callan cede that position? I'm not sure. Yeah, well, Callan has no intentions, and he leads the reverse grid race. Harrison with a good start. You could see there, just the start. He got Harrison up the inside. I think Callan's going to give the position back. Yeah, I don't think he's unaware. I think he's unawares of just what's happened here. I'm not sure, but Harrison, here, look, leads the race. And Jasper has been ceded the position. Yeah, I don't think he's aware that he's just lost the back end on the exit of turn 1, as he's given that position back now. But now Callan will be up the inside, side by side now, the two coming down the Las Vegas Strip. Jasper has to leave a bit of racing room down this back straight here, look, as now down through towards turn number 1. Yeah, interesting indeed. They're still side by side. Jasper backs out. Nicely done. Harrison leads the race now, and now it's going to be a matter of Callan trying, look, to catch up just a little bit to the back end. Look at the reaction time. It was a perfect 0.1 reaction time from Jasper as he's now deep into the first corner. And as I said before, these cars turn like absolute trucks. So you sort of have to be a bit more cautious as DRS now enabled. It doesn't seem like Jasper's enjoying the feel of his car at the moment, which is going to be a slight little problem for himself. As look at the run that they're getting through this fast left through the right, and Jasper now a little bit deep into the corner. Now Harrison starting to pull away. The pit window opens lap 3, and you have until lap 12 to box and put on that brand new set of Bridgestone or Goodyear tyres. So the cars pass through. Very interesting run so far. And a good start from Harrison. And this just shows if you play it safe off the start of a race like this, where it can be so hectic, especially on these reverse grids, if you play it safe, you can be in a good position. You certainly can. Of course, third place, you do score those ultimate 8 to 10 points. Might be 8 now, due to the fact that Harry won't be in this one. So 8 points being scored possibly the way of Jasper. Be right on board here with Harrison. Run through towards turn number 1. Good start. This has been controlled. And in terms of lap times, not bad. If I do say so myself, he was 2 seconds faster on that last lap. On a 1:33.1. So again, start of the race. So anything can happen. You can see they're using all the track limits up the curb there a little bit. What does Callum do here? Does he try and pull off a bit of an undercut? If you box too early, though, you tend to run out of fuel too early. So it does become a bit of a problem if you box too early, especially in these sprint-type endurances that we do have, especially in these sprint races. Pit window does open lap 3. Does Callum box? No, he doesn't. He stays out. Not deciding for that undercut just yet. It is too early and you will run out of fuel again. It's only one compulsory pit stop. You can make more if needed, but it's only one compulsory one. Indeed it is. Lap 4 this race, 10 to go. Harrison now starting, look to pull away. And Jasper will just be in the background there, holding on to those valuable points in for what will be possibly, maybe, and I say this, maybe a hunt for second place in the championship. And you've got to think, coming into the front end of this season, Harrison had no intentions of winning a championship. He doesn't care if he wins a championship or not. All Harrison wants to do is have a bit of fun. Yeah, he had no intentions of winning a championship. Callum wants to win a championship before he goes into retirement. Yeah. Indeed. Indeed he does. Hopefully we can get a absolute banging Season 7 of this championship as now Harrison makes his run through towards turn number 1. Sees the curb there on the outside. Callum with his first track limits warning of the race. So, again, needs to be wary of that as we now look at Jasper. Through towards turn number 1. Of course, Jasper, unfortunately, had that rear end loss almost through towards turn number 3 on the circuit. Had that massive rear end loss and it just sort of lost him not only position but time. It's now through they run. Indeed, it did lose him just a little bit of time. Callum, though, definitely struggling. He's outside that 1 second range, which is what is absolutely killing Harrison at the moment, or Callum. Absolutely killing him because he can't get close. But he's closing in there, look. About 5 minutes into this race. Of course, we do have 40 minutes of time certainty. Well, I'd say probably 30 minutes, actually. Yeah, 30 minutes, and then, of course, you've got that turnaround time as well. 30 minutes of time certainty in this one. As these tyres now start to come up to temp and pressure. We shouldn't see any lapping, actually, in this race if Jasper can stay on the pace. Yeah, definitely expected for 30 minutes plus a lap. It's now through they turn. Callum with a second track limits warning. So he's pushing the limits and you can definitely see it. Callum pushing the limits and now on his second warning. And Harrison, he's just smooth. He's calm at the moment and he's got a good head. not having to push it as much in this one. And that is the margin between Callan back to Jasper. I reckon it's nearly 20 seconds, actually. It's nearly the length of the Las Vegas Strip, that margin that he will have. So, weary of that will be Callan. And now into the pit lane. Looking for an early pit stop now. Will this shaft Callan a bit later? We didn't see pit stops until lap 10 in the race, in race number 1. Will this shaft Callan, and will he get to the end? Halfway into this race now, making that compulsory pit stop. And first warning for Jasper in this one. And it just shows the margin that he had, actually, because he still comes out in front. Jasper into the box. Coming into pit lane now. And now Callan has to really push to try and come back out in front of Harrison. Indeed he does. Very much now on a pushing run here. As we now look at Harrison making his run down the Las Vegas Strip. Harrison well aware of the incoming possible undercut. It's coming the way of Harrison. Does Harrison run this long? That is the big question, though. To be honest, if I was Harrison, he's in a good position. He's in a good position. I wouldn't even worry about boxing now. And he stays out. So, Harrison's in a good position. He stayed out in this one. And we'll continue on down through towards turn 1. Yeah, Harrison has that advantage to be able to stay out. To be able to keep a margin here this afternoon. And that, there, look, is the margin between Harrison and then there's Callan in second place. Down through towards turn 1. And Harrison is making his run through the twiddly bits of the circuit. Now we see, look, as Harrison is now starting the Las Vegas Strip. So that just shows the margin now Harrison has over Callan in this race. Very much less interrupted here. Pit window does close lap 12, so he's still got about 3 laps until he officially does have to box. But when does he now decide to do so? Harrison not risking it. He can't cross that white line now. Otherwise he will get a penalty, and he doesn't. And he comes into the pit lane. Yeah, so of course if you cross this white line here, coming into the pits, and you cross back over, there will be a penalty coming the way. Of course, Harrison didn't do that, so he's safe into the pit lane. A bit more fuel burnt, so he's going to have to, of course, stay in the pit lane for a little bit longer. This, look, will be the margin. Harrison exits the pit lane. Crosses that white line, and very nicely done. Harrison keeps the lead. Yeah, and I can sense there will be a bit of frustration in that one, in that pit stop there. Definitely a bit of frustration that he wasn't able to get onto the back as Harrison gets his first warning of the race. And Jasper gets his second warning of the race here. So, Jasper in a bit of trouble. Well, he's not in trouble yet, but he just needs to be wary that he is on that second warning, that he is at risk of losing what could be more of margin to the top 2. Jasper very much out of sight in this race, and at the moment just running his own race here. Using this for a little bit of practice. And Harrison and Callan have said that it was more fun without Harry. And third warning for Jasper, and it's not going to be good. You're about to hear it over race control. Attention all teams, attention all teams. We have a 5-second time penalty for Jasper for exceeding track limits. And you know they're locked in when you can't even hear any of them speaking. Not even interrupting race control that time around. So they are locked in this one. Harrison is pulled away. Or has Callan made a mistake? Has Callan made a mistake here for that margin to grow just a little bit more. And Callan with his third warning, and this race just gets worse and worse. Attention all teams, 5-second time penalty for Callan for exceeding track limits. So 5-second time penalty and another warning for Callan. And now he's only got one left because, of course, your warnings decrease each time you get a penalty. So he's now only got one warning left until he gets another penalty in this race. Trouble for Callan. And this is certainly not looking good. Harrison's got one warning so far. Just because he's keeping it clean at the moment. But a 5-second time penalty for Callan will be as Harrison has exited the pit. Jasper's exited the pit lane. Jasper with his first of now one more warning in this race. And Jasper possibly looking to just put a bit more fuel in to get him to the end of this race. Now, does that become a concern for Callan here? Is Callan going to run out of fuel from boxing too early? Yeah, that might just become the concern here for Mr. Callan. And he just now has to take it easy because he's already got a 5-second time penalty out the way of himself. So just got to take it easy. Here. But that 5-second time penalty added on to the race time. And been clean this race, which is really 14 minutes in, 11 laps complete. We will actually get about a 20-minute break after this race here, ladies and gentlemen. It's quite a clean race this has been. And good practice for some of these drivers. I say some. I actually point that to Jasper. Good practice indeed. Blue flag being shown for Jasper. Has to move out of the way here. Moves right to the left-hand side up against the barrier. And, of course, lets Harrison by. And Jasper won't mind with that, actually. He won't mind because he's just mainly using this for practice. Deep into the corner goes Jasper. And that's a second warning. Second warning, and this will be another penalty. Now, I can't imagine it'd only be if you get an advantage, but I've seen what race control thinks about that as to whether or not he does get a penalty. But it goes back to the F1 incident where Kimi Antonelli went deep into the corner, and I don't think that will be a penalty, actually. Normally you'd hear it from race control, so I can't imagine that it would be a penalty the way of Jasper, and that there isn't. Yeah, of course, you have to physically cut the curb or leave the track and gain an advantage to be able to get that penalty here. But final lap of the race. Sorry, second final lap of the race. So don't listen to what that says, ladies and gentlemen. Don't listen to what it says because it's not true. So it's not the final lap of the race. We go lap 14, then the final lap of the race. So next time by when the drivers cross the line, it will be the final lap. We completed this race in 15 minutes, actually. So very clean race for the drivers. No real chance, actually, of anything to happen. But of course, with that 5-second time penalty going the way of Callan, it will then extend the margin. 7 seconds, the margin, and that will increase out to 12 seconds, the margin, Harrison to Callan. Callan on the beep of the horn. It's now down through towards the last couple of corners. Now, excuse the celebrations that are about to go on, because yes, Harrison will win the race next time around, but he won't win it this time around here. So, minute and a half to go. Yes, the checkered flag has come out. Yes, it does say Harrison's the race winner. But of course, this lap now, the final lap of the race. Here. Race control. And they're confirming final lap of the race there on our screens. And Callan with a... Well, that's his first warning, so he's fine there. And that was close. Jasper now with his second warning, and that I'm not sure if he physically went off the track, but that might just be confirmed from race control. Attentional teams. 5-second time penalty for Jasper for exceeding track limits. So 5-second time penalty there for Jasper. But we're about to see, I could only imagine Harrison has already crossed the line here. And Harrison, with a beautiful drive, will cross the line and has already won the race. Very nicely done. Harrison wins race 2. Indeed, he does in the race with just 3 seconds to go. Very nicely done. Callan crosses the line. Second place in that one. And, of course, followed by Jasper, who will come around to, well, actually complete one more lap before he actually finishes the race here. So, Jasper yet to complete one more lap. But Harrison with another 7-point advantage going the way. Very, very nicely done. So the drivers celebrate, and we'll have about I could only imagine, 20-minute break before the next race gets underway. So, ladies and gentlemen, we'll be back in about 15 minutes for the start of race number 3, being the feature race for the weekend. Back in a few moments. Bye-bye. Hello everybody and welcome in to race number 3 of round number 1 here this afternoon. After a slight little break, we return for race number 1, round number 1. Sorry, race number 3 of round number 1 here this afternoon. This is going to be everything just as exciting as what the last one was. Hopefully, we can get a bit of action in this one. Had a slight little break in proceedings and now we are back on our extremely tight schedule that we are running this weekend. Got about 2 minutes until race start. As you can see, drivers needing to line up on the grid. Jasper already asserting dominance in leading on this formation lap. Asserting his dominance as he pulls away on this formation lap, trying to get these Goodyear tyres, the softer compound of Goodyear tyre up to temperature and pressure as well. So just got over about 40 seconds. Drivers must line up straight on the grids. And that's they do. You can see damage already to Harrison's car, which might affect him a little bit, but we'll have to wait and see. Moments away now from race start, ladies and gentlemen. Just under 10 seconds now from race getting underway. Callan angling his car towards Jasper. Damage being reset. On these cars, you can still, at this point, see the sparks on the cars. Lights on. Race 3, feature race for Fortnite League. This is going to be good. Angling Callan. Fast starting Callan. Good start. Up the inside. Turn number 1. Contacting Callan off right. Callan off left. And now side by side Jasper. Immediately moving out of the way. And Jasper and Harrison now side by side. Down the front straight. This has been a good start and already it's action. Field down towards turn number 3. And surely they're not going to go 3 wide. Harrison backs out. Jasper sits second. Callan leads the race. Harrison in third. And Harrison has, again, no intentions of winning a championship. It's the way that the races have fallen so far that's put him in the championship lead. Callan leads the race, though. This is critical for his championship if he wants to win one before he retires. Certainly is. Very critical indeed, as now they run through once more. Jasper has said before that all he wants to do is try and finish in front of at least Harrison or Callan in a race. Of course, this one's a longer race compared to the other 2 races we've had so far, being a 25% distance race. This now a 50% distance. So a real long race here for these drivers to execute. And Harrison will be realising here that Callan looks starting to pull away just a little bit. So Harrison will want to try and make this move as soon as possible. And, of course, as clean as possible. Harrison to the outside of the road. DRS enabled. And Harrison now will start to get a bit frustrated with Jasper, because he's getting held up and he's actually losing. Callan, Harrison's over. Championship leader. Oh, my God. And out of all the things that could have happened in this race, it happens. It was the bumper glitch. And the bumper glitch continues. And Jasper doesn't need to give any sort of positioning back here, because none of that was his fault either. Nah, none of that. And this, Callan will have a smirk on his face here. He will know what this means. Yep, and Jasper's the thorn in the side at the moment of Harrison. And that is not what Harrison needed. Contact and into the barrier. Indeed, it is. Callan, though, now needs to do what Harrison did last time out and just make a gap. Just keep a calm head. Don't use those track limits. Harrison's now in the position, and first warning for Harrison. And again, this is where drivers of this caliber start to lose their head just a little bit. You can see the sparks falling off the rear end of that car as message from race control. Attention all teams, I want to go virtual safety car in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Virtual safety car, virtual safety car. Virtual safety car has been deployed here, ladies and gentlemen. And, oh, bit of contact. That's not good. and not needed either. Why has race control gone virtual safety car? This is very interesting. And I think it is because of the fumes being dropped out of the rear end of Harrison's car here. And that would be the main reason. So race control said 2 laps under virtual safety car here. And hopefully Harrison will box to try and possibly repair that. So 2 laps under virtual safety car. This is very strange from race control. Yeah. And I'm surprised they actually don't go full safety car here, ladies and gentlemen. But 2 laps on the virtual safety car. It is a hell of a long time to be at this speed. At this kind of speed. And the other thing that is really triggering for some of these drivers is you could see the cars up in front of you. But you can't do anything. You can't make a dive. You can't get close. You just have to sit at 60 k's an hour and just hope to God that something happens. And what they would have heard is 2 laps on a virtual safety. That's a free pit stop. You surely think that people would start to box, and I think Harrison will box just to repair that damage to get us back to green flag. Yeah, it's also because it's dropping oil onto the road as well. So Harrison into the box. Jasper, slow pit stop. No, that's not what Jasper needed. This is not what Jasper needed. They're side by side. It's going to be... Oh, was that an unsafe re-entry from Harrison? Harrison will take the lead in the pit lane, but there's a lot of questionable things going on here. Harrison gives the position back. That's smart. That is smart from Harrison. He gives both positions back. Smart from Harrison. And that will stop him from getting a penalty. That will stop Harrison from getting a penalty. Very smart play, and that is what 5 championships does to a driver of his caliber. Indeed. Attention all teams, virtual safety car is ending in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Green flag, green flag. Thank you. And we're back to green flag, and now Harrison immediately pouncing. Harrison around again. Wow. And Jasper's around as well. Oh, no, he isn't. Jasper's not around. I'm not sure. But this is not... Harrison's going to be fuming. Harrison is going to be fuming. And they were side by side and came into contact. And what is there damage to just Harrison's car? No. Harrison stays damage clear for the moment. But Jasper's putting on a defensive effort this afternoon. Indeed he is. And now Harrison will go from happy Harrison to angry Harrison here. Because he's going to be absolutely fuming here. Because he wants to get past Jasper just as much as the next guy does here. And when I say the next guy, just as much as I want Harrison to get past Jasper. So, very much spicing up between these two. And Callan will be singing la-li la-li la-da-da right now. Because he will have no pressure on the back end of him. And the only thing that can stop him is track limits. But I could only imagine Callan, 0 track limits, has nothing to worry about. Harrison, the only one with track limits in this race. Jasper, 0 track limits. Harrison, 1 track limit. And now Jasper slow through the exit of the chicane. And again, no fault of his own, gets too close. And now Harrison, again, making more mistakes. No fault of his own. You've got to admit that is no fault of Harrison's own. Too close, and the bumper glitch became a thing again. This is not good. It's just not going smoothly for Harrison. And Callan, in a 50% distance race, what Harrison just has to keep his head here. He cannot lose his head, because if he loses his head, he loses concentration and he starts to make more mistakes. For example, use track limits up when you cannot be doing that. Harrison knows that he's slower than Jasper. He just needs to find a way to get past. Indeed, DRS now enabled here on lap number 6 of this race, re-enabling that track limits. And Harrison, 2nd track limits of the race. This is just not going well. Not going well at all. And Callan now with his 1st track limits of the race. surprisingly, Jasper, 0 track limits. When I came into this race, and if you told me, Jasper, oh no, Harrison, this race cannot go any worse. He's about to get a penalty, I can only imagine. Attention all teams, 5-second time penalty, Harrison, for exceeding track limits. And there you go, confirmation. 5-second time penalty for Harrison for exceeding track limits. Boy, oh boy. This race is not going Harrison's way. Being stuck up behind a slower driver is like being stuck up behind a turtle in the ocean. It is so, so slow. And it just slows the race as well. Indeed it does. As now they file through once more. We get this up ahead shot of the cars making them run through. Now you'll see that Callan's starting to pull away there. Harrison look on the inside of the road. Can he get the move done? Left plenty of room. Harrison with his first of now 2 warnings. Yeah, it was worth it. It was worth it. Harrison was starting to get angry, and if he wasn't going to get him that time around, Harrison was probably going to lose his mind. Callan with his 2nd warning of the race. He's pushing like he's about to get caught by Harrison. And just taking too many risks. Jasper, 0 warnings. He just needs to keep it clean here. And if he could stick inside Harrison's DRS, he'll be able to be dragged along in this race. Yeah, he certainly will. 19 laps to go. Anything can happen. Anything can and will happen, actually. So we'll see, of course, how this race unfolds. Jasper now making a chicane. Is that Harrison just poking towards the pit lane there? Maybe a potential, possibly a pit stop going the way of Harrison. Of course, pit window opens lap number 3, and luckily, they boxed lap 3. Otherwise, all of them would get a penalty. Indeed. So luckily, lap 3, that pit window already opened, and of course, it closes lap. Lap 3 pit window opens. It then closes lap 22 in this race. So plenty of time. Of course, 2 compulsory pit stops, 2 mandatory pit stops must be made in this race. So, see how that plays out. But Harrison now just trying to get his head down. He knows he possibly has a slight pace advantage over Callan in this race. Is that Jasper in the fence? I think he might have just scraped the fence. And I heard tyres squealing and a barrier smacking there. So, slight incident with the barrier there for Jasper. And I thought that was going to be race over for Jasper. Well, any sort of chance of a race win would have been over for Jasper. Now through he turns once more. Just over 10 minutes of this race gone. We've got 35 minutes of time certainty on the clock. And about 11 minutes of those have been destroyed already, and that is due to because the virtual safety car, that was deployed due to the oil down on the road from Harrison's car. There, so now this is Callan now making his run down the famous strip on the circuit. Harrison, must admit, he's actually closing, and I don't want to jinx it, but he maybe is. Maybe he's just slowly closing in ever so slightly here. Very interesting this race is. 17 laps to go. Still loads of this race to go. Haven't even passed the halfway mark. If you look at the drone shot, Harrison making his run through, you can see the rubber build up from practice qualifying in the race. The track's starting to very much heave up a little bit and rubber in. Starting to very much improve, and the lap times maybe starting to show as well. Due to this being the final race, I don't think race control will have big thoughts on time certainty here. They'll try and get this race run and done. Of course, that is technically the first virtual safety car of in quite a while since race 1. We did get 2 virtual safety cars throughout race 1. Apart from that, though, we were green for most of it. We got none in race 2 and 1 here in race number 3, being the feature race, of course, the final on-track action. Then, of course, we head to the famous Spa-Francorchamps tomorrow. Of course, our action live right here from 20 to 10 tomorrow morning. With, sorry, not 20 to 10, 5 to 10 tomorrow. We'll be on air for qualifying. 1 part qualifying, back to the normal qualifying sessions for all 3 drivers to set their lap times. And, of course, another 3-race format at Spa-Francorchamps for 2 sprint races. And, of course, if needed, if wanted, a few reverse grid races as well. Yeah, it also just changes up the format a little bit as well. Of course, 1 pit stop has been completed by all drivers. Confirmation there on your screens. 1 pit stop completed so far from all the drivers, and now starting to calm down just a little bit. Harrison, of course, has to serve a 5-second time penalty. He can either do that during his pit stop or actually has to do it in his pit stop. He's still got 1 pit stop to go, so he has to do it in the pit stop. And, of course, can't do it at the end of the race. Count on 2 warnings. Harrison on 2 warnings. Shocker. Jasper, 0. 0. Zip, zip, zip. No warnings for Jasper. Yeah, very shocking indeed. The margin, though, look. Closing ever so slightly. That's the margin there. It's about 7 seconds. Look at Calendar Harrison. Yeah, he's closing in here. And will there be thoughts here? Got about 7 laps since the drivers last pitted. And that's safety. Oh, virtual. Yeah, there we go. Harrison in. Harrison to serve his penalty. And this is huge in the context of this championship. 100% it is. 100%. Of course, you can change your car if you would wish. But this is a slow pit stop from Harrison. It's a very slow pit stop. Very slow. And this is just chewing time away. And he missed his pit box, which is why. And okay, so he's just serving the penalty. So Harrison there, just serving the penalty. No, he's changing cars. So deciding to change cars. Harrison safe on the re-entry. Serve the penalty. That was 5 seconds. And he served the penalty as well. So Harrison now clear of that penalty. Attention all teams. Harrison Trenery has cleared his penalty. Harrison Trenery has cleared his penalty. That's confirmation there over race control and race direction. Harrison has cleared his penalty. But that margin now. The margin. That is what we're going to be focused on here. Calendar Harrison. Callan's won this race. Every sense of the word. He's in the pit lane. He's in the pit lane here, Callan. So, very smooth and very nicely done. Yeah, and we'll get a shot here in just a few moments of Callan. He has nothing to worry about here, and he's now exited the pit lane. So, car swap from Callan, and that would have saved him time in the pit stop. But now the battle that we're all focused on. Harrison versus Jasper. Can Harrison get by? DRS enabled all the way down this front straight. Jasper covers to the inside. Not going to let Harrison through. Jasper has to go for a serious cover move here. Jasper knows that the fight for second is on. Up the inside, and Harrison gets the move done. Nicely done, and we've passed the halfway mark, and now Jasper will get DRS again down the front straight, and he will fly by. Cover to the inside. Halfway gone in this race. Harrison with another warning, and now first of 2. Up the inside and up the curb. Harrison, this race is not going his way. And those probably won't be counted for warnings, I can only imagine, because it was a force off the track. So those will not be counted for warnings, I don't reckon. Yeah, it's come up on our timing screen here. The warnings for Jasper and Harrison will not be counted as it come into contact. Yeah, so contact, not applying of those warnings there. Callan starting lap 14. Jasper deciding to give the position back, and that's going to be a penalty. That's going to be a penalty. That is going to be a penalty for Harrison, because you can't just swerve across like that. I could only imagine that will be a penalty unless he readdresses. And he does. Yeah, you can't swerve across someone like that. If it was stick, I can't tell if it was stick drift or, but again, you can't swerve across someone like that. It's a bit silly. So now Harrison trying to regain this position up inside there. Look, Harrison, he'll be a slight bit up the curb, but Jasper lets that position go. Indeed, he does. 12 to go now in this one. Over the radio.
What you doing? I didn't care.
So Harrison there just listening over that radio communication saying he's not happy with how the course of this race has played out. Being held up by Jasper and now having to readdress to Jasper for swerving across him. Yeah, it's not ideal as Callan now with his third track limit warning. Harrison on his second, and they're both going to get a penalty here. This is not good. Attention all teams, 5-second time penalty to Callan and Harrison for exceeding track limits. And time penalty going the way again of Harrison for exceeding track limits. Of course, each time you go and each time you get a penalty, the track limit warnings drop down to 2 and then down to 1. And now Harrison has only got 1 warning left until he gets another penalty. Yeah, and there will be frustration, and I can hear the call. I can hear it ever so slightly, but there's going to be some anger, and I think Callan said, "Listen."
Listen to the call. Fucking listen to the call.
Hello.
I fucking spun, and it gave me a track limit. You need to actually ask what happened before it actually fucking giving out penalties, you retard.
Well, you don't need to call me a retard, and just for that, I should keep the penalty. So, like, really call me a penalty? Really call me a retard?
Coach, it doesn't matter. Callan's leading the race. I'll put a penalty. Now Justin's going to come say all the because Callan's getting a penalty. This is a safety car.
Okay, fine then. Reject the penalty. So, that penalty has been rejected for Callan. And apparently they're Callan spinning, giving that margin, or more or less dropping that margin just a little bit. But again, this race has gone green to the best of it. And 17 laps gone in this race, and Callan spinning again at turn 1. I knew I should have watched Callan. Otherwise, I would have given him another penalty. Like I watched that time. Harrison now crosses the line to start lap 17. Jasper as well coming across the line to start lap 17 as well. And so far, so good. Did you spin or did you spin or what?
Yeah, for the second one I did, but we're not going to have enough fuel to finish.
So box again.
But you said two men per year?
Yeah, but that's only 2 men. That's
because if we want to actually run it long, we 22.
Correct.
So we're going to have the pit stops thing, we'll have to not cut off at lap 22.
So is that you're saying you have to run it past lap 22?
Yeah.
To get to the end.
There's no way we'll last past. If we pit on lap 22, we will probably make it, but if we will make it to the end, we do. Because we're on almost full time car.
Okay. Pit window will close lap 24. Pit window will close lap 24. So pit window has been extended due to the drivers wanting a more or less as Jasper cutting the corner around. And Jasper around and again into the barrier. And virtual safety car has been deployed. And Harrison will be wanting this to go full course caution. But will it? Yeah, I can't imagine this is going to go full course caution. They're going to be hoping that this goes full course caution to bring this race alive again. It's going to be anger on one part if race control calls a safety car, and it's going to be happiness on the other end. So what does race control do here? Yeah, I can only imagine Harrison right now is saying, safety car, safety car, safety car, safety car, safety car. Yeah, that's probably what he's saying right now, I can only imagine. Cal now pulls into pit lane. Is this going to bunch? It is. I think it's going to bunch the field back up. Yep, it certainly will. VSC bunches the field back up again. Callan jumps Harrison. Now, does Harrison short fuel or does he go long? And what has happened with Jasper here? Because he's not crossed the line. Has Jasper had a mistake? Virtual safety car is ending. Virtual safety car ending in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Virtual safety car is ended.
I'm talking my car so off and everything. Yeah, that's kind of unfair. Why does me and Callan get to pit, and then Jasper, when he goes into pit? It's for nothing, sir. It is for nothing. Like, he barely touched the wall. I knew I was going to hit the wall. I braked. I cussed it ever so slightly. Reversed straight away. He's doing precautions. He's doing precautions. He should have probably left it a teensy bit longer for Jasper. I was in pit as soon as it went green. Yeah.
It just shows I'm not fancying Jasper then. I'm not siding with Jasper. Interesting lot of conversations there as now side by side Harrison, Callan retakes the lead. Very nicely done there. Callan once more retaking the lead and in very nice circumstances as well. Lap 20 of this race. Message from race control. Attention all teams. Safety car being deployed in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Safety car. It's to bunch the field back up because you're all complaining about it.
just whatever. Thanks. Battle good pal. Oh, you won that. You should have won that round. Ages ago, by the way. Oh yeah. Jasper, can you let for Jasper? Alright, I'm on the back stride. I ain't gonna be there anytime soon. Jasper, can you let Callum win? Because he should have won that race ages ago. Yeah. Holy lag, bro. Holy lag, bro. You're going like.
Oh my god, I can't do anything right. That is wild. That is actually wild. I can't get the logic there. You want Jasper. Okay. Interesting.
Alright. I'm just coming out of kids. I should have won that right there. Wait, what's happening? I can't hear what's happening. It's good. I fucking can't hear anything. It's better? Okay, it's better, but I couldn't hear anything. It was just going like. Oh, we can hear you fine. You hurry up.
So what? What did you want? Did you want the race to stay green?
Yeah, because like the point is, Jasper was like, they crashed, backed up a tiny bit, and then he went.
No, but then he went straight into another barrier. Well, again, it proves the point that I'm not just fancying Jasper. So I had to prove that point at some point. And not all the luck goes the way of Jasper. Luck falls the way luck falls. It'd be like the same if, it just... And then I've done this safety car and you're all angry at me. It's just unlucky. Okay, so we're about to go back to green flag here this afternoon, and for the final 5-lap sprint, and race control have done this to just bunch the field up a little bit in this one. So race control, safety car will be ending, and Callan will regain the lead in this one. Three-way fight to the end. Green flag. Callan has to control the pace here.
Guys, you can't just brake check.
And now Callan goes up through towards the line. And once more hitting the braking zone. Callan leads the way. 4 to go left in this one.
Looks like my tyres are about to puncture.
Hear there Callan over the radio saying his tyres look like they're about to puncture. Which is not good. You see the bits of rubber being dispersed. There's Callan and Harrison making contact. Harrison once more getting through and into the lead. And it's funny to say this, but it's for the first time in this race as well. Jasper, though, look, hanging onto the back, trying not to fall outside. of that 1 second margin this is going to be an epic fight to the line. Certainly will. Jasper just hanging on. Harrison leading out in front. And the way that the dice falls is the way that the dice falls. And not everybody has had the most insane luck in this race. As now Harrison leads the way out in front. Down through towards and starting now lap 23 of this race.
DRS.
DRS will be enabled on this lap. Up the inside. And under brakes, Callum gets the move done up the curb. And you heard there over the radio, they were just planning that. So Callum being given the lead over Harrison, trying to make this fight as fair as possible. Up the inside, contact, squeeze against the barrier there, look. Harrison, Callum going out at the two championship rivals, and Jasper's just there to pick up the pieces. Indeed, he is. Last time around, Jasper was the quicker car on track there, so very interesting indeed. But there, look, Jasper closing. DRS being a huge threat to these two. Now back up the outside, there goes Callan. He'll be late on the brakes, back around the outside. Jasper! Through goes Jasper! But there's contact, and Harrison goes around.
Well, I didn't know that. I was that guy.
And Harrison goes around again. Contact and...
I didn't penalty for that. I did like a reverse. Yeah, if you get a penalty, that's
And that was definitely a bit of redressing there. Callan doing burnouts as he tries to close the margin ever so slightly. Here with just 3 to go. Virtual safety car is ending in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Virtual safety car is ended. Callan and Harrison here, look. They've got some big damage on the front of their cars. And Harrison again. He was up the inside and up the curb as well. Was not going to end well. And again, Harrison retakes the lead. But Callan has stopped on circuit. Side by side contact. Harrison into the fence. Jasper into the fence. They're all in the fence.
on my screen, you made me twice, so I took my line, and then I looked at the show and you just like,
So, Harrison, you can see the damage on the front end of his car after that contact. And we've got 3 laps to go. That safety car has changed the race completely.
I'm just stopping for Harry.
Yeah, and this race, absolutely enthralling. You can hear the debrief going on. You can hear the debrief. Callan to the outside. This is going to be absolutely amazing. And guess what? For the first time in 7 seasons, Jasper has a chance to win. Jasper has a chance to win to the outside now. 2 to go. Here at Las Vegas, side by side, Callan, Harrison, giving plenty of racing room. So does Callan. To the outside, Jasper's there to pick up any scraps that are going on DRS enabled. To the outside, Jasper! Jasper! There goes Jasper! Up in a second! Harrison takes the lead! Jasper's over! Oh my God, what's happened there? You're kidding me! What a race this is! Oh my God, what is going on exactly? You can hear the radio conversation going on. What is going on in this race? And the DRS playing a huge factor. And now Callan back to the outside. This is a 3-wide epic battle going on between these 3. To the outside now it goes Callan. Late on the brakes. Oh, Harrison clipped the wall. He clipped the wall and shoved the car sideways. And then luckily he didn't turn Callan around. 1 to go here in Las Vegas. You can hear him celebrating for how long. DRS will become a factor here. 1 to go. 1 to go in Las Vegas. Can you hear Callan celebrating already, but for how long? Harrison now to the outside. Callan's going to cover. Harrison, contact. Contact. Harrison goes straight on. Oh, my God. Jasper's going to take second. Jasper's going to take freaking second. You're kidding me. Callan way up the curve. You can hear track limit warnings going on. Callan spun. Callan spun. Jasper's in the fence. Harrison's gone through. Jasper and Callan are going to be side by side for second place. You're kidding me. What is going on in this race? Harrison's going to come through to win. No freaking way. No freaking way. Look at the damage on Harrison's car. Harrison's car's about to blow up. The thing's about to blow up. And Harrison's about to cross the line in first. What the frick is going on in this race? Callan opting, he wants to let by. He does so. Jasper's going to take second, I feel. He is. This is going to be Jasper's best result. Apart from Noah's ring in Season 5, Jasper is going to come across the line for his best result in Season 7. He's going to let Harry by. What the frick is going on? They're going to battle to the line at about 8 miles an hour. Jasper, oh, will they even cross the line? Jesus Christ. They're not even going to cross the line. Oh, my God. What is going on? He wants Jasper to go by. Can Jasper get his best result of the season? Oh, what is going on? Jasper, I think he got second. He got second. Jasper got second. I have no voice. I have no voice. Jasper's got second in the best race in Formula League. And look at how close the cars were to blowing up at the end there.
I was pushing you, and then
The cars were so close to blowing up.
I swear I got first.
And that they did.
I watched the replay on the thing.
What a race. What a freaking race that was.
No, Harry crossed first. Yeah, I crossed first. Wait, this whole car has to go over the line, by the way. No, it doesn't. No, it's just the front of the car does. It's just the front of the car. Then it was through. Wait, search up on Google.
It's so slow.
I think I got second.
Race as well.
I crossed it first. I did. I know you did. Yeah, wait. I'm going back. Oh my God. I crossed first. That's right. No, I probably should get up and go by. Can Jasper get his best result of the season? Oh, what is going on? Holy crap.
No, that was Jasper. That was Jasper.
No, that was Harry. That was me. I'm guessing it was Harry. Going slow motion replay. The front of his car went over the line first. Doing it in slow motion. Wait. What is going on?
Oh, that's so close. That is like, oh. No, Jasper's car crossed. He's got all 4 wheels over the line.
No, I got second.
Jasper has all 4 wheels over the line. You only have 2.
No, it's the first to cross the line. Every single one thing has the 2 wheels count. It doesn't have to be fully.
Okay, I'll give you it. Fine. I'll give you it.
I'm fine with whatever. I'm revealing it because I already crossed first. I can say who did it. I don't mind what place I get, so you can say how it gets first. I don't mind. Although I would have ran out of fuel anyway. Gee, one more lap we would have ran out. Yeah. Wait, okay, I found a frame that I'm going to screenshot.
Send it to the group.
Jasper crossed first. Ah!
Jasper crossed first. What?
Championship then. No, why was there two races? I'm gonna send it to the group chat. By the way, you have to fully cross the line. No, you don't. No. Fully cross the line with two wheels. Yeah, that's what I did. I crossed the line with two wheels. Yeah, but just look at the fucking screenshots in a second when it comes up. Oh my god, I'm so fucking tired. I'm not doing podiums because I don't think that was kind of.
Well, I've already confirmed it in the championship. Callan leads by 4 points, and then 9 points back is Jasper.
Is Jasper ahead of Harris? No, because
No, he's 9 points away.
If you look, yeah, I was in front. Nice but remember, I had no fuel. Jasper,
He was in front.
No, that is first. Because Jasper, because I've got no fuel, I can't roll. So the only reason why Jasper is in first is he's got fuel and I don't. He did that, and you didn't. No, you didn't cross the line first though. So at least I can see it. And I mean, if you look at the screenshots, clearly I got first. Which one are you talking about? The one that Callum sends. There's two. Yeah, the first one. The first one right there. Alright, yeah.
Jasper.
You can see I was over the line.
Yeah, Jasper, definitely. So, the championship now. Callan on 43 points. Callan on 43 points. Harrison on 39. Jasper on 30.
Okay. Here's the song.
Well, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. That's rounds number 1 here at Vegas. Callan crossed the line in dramatic fashion. And after some reviewing after that one, we've gone official. Callan crosses the line first. Of course, we'll be back again to it all again tomorrow. Back from Spa. But of course, join us there. Round number 2. Off at Spa Francorchamps. It's going to be good. And if it's anything like that, we've got some action on hand. Stay with us, though. Still plenty more to come. And it'll be live tomorrow from 5 to 10. Till then, catch you then. Bye-bye.